Hello, everybody. This is Dave Wallace coming to you from Waihoa, Hawaii, and happy Labor Day. Okay? Hope everybody is safe. I have a question for you. How many of you have ever found yourself in a dangerous situation where you backed into a corner and facing the possibility that you may be hurt? Okay? And after being placed in this situation, for some reason, there's some kind of power that comes over you and helps you gain an advantage. In fact, it takes over the situation and places you in a situation of advantage. Now, this is what happened to me twice in my life. The first one I'm going to be explaining took place back in the 1990s when I lived up in Utah and I was working for the state hospital in Provo, Utah. I was part of uh, the sex offender program where I was a psych aide, and my job was to watch the patients, make sure they take their meds, and make sure they're behaving, okay, while they're at the hospital receiving their therapy, okay. One of the patients that was there, I was warned before I was placed in a unit that there was a huge man that was in there. He was probably about 6'7" and close to 400 pounds. And this man didn't like dark skinned people, Polynesians, blacks, anybody, Mexicans, anybody with brown or dark skin, he hated. And he would, either pick a fight with you or push you around or try and intimidate you. And for the first couple of weeks of me working there, he tried to intimidate me and kind of like ignored it. Um, then one night, um, someone in the unit made him really upset, and he went on a tear and he started smashing everything. And I was part of my rounds was to go and check with the geriatrics because sometimes they needed help. And while I was away, I got a call. Hey, this inmate was acting up. So I ran back, and as soon as I ran back, I entered the unit and I saw this man choking another person, and yelled out his name. And he dropped the person and he looked at me. And when he turned around, he had this wild look in his face and he came charging across the room. He was charging to me in this large room. It was our gathering place where we had the TV, couches, and stuff. So it was a big space. And so this guy came running towards me, and all I could think was, oh no, I'm going to get my butt whipped. So I stood up and I tried to brace myself for the impact. And I'm looking, trying to see how I can either dodge this guy or take advantage of him. And there was a sense of calm that came over me. For some reason, all I did was say, I need help, and a feeling of calm came over me. And right before this guy was only about, maybe a foot away from me and ready to grab me, I talked. And I basically dropped down to my knees and I pictured myself like a tiny ball. And this tiny ball, I felt an energy surge. And as the energy surged through me, all I did was lift up my right hand and lift up my right hand. And I didn't even touch this guy. I didn't even feel him. And this guy came flying over my head, and he ended up landing on the carpet, getting rug burns on his face. So he was nosedive, and so I stood up, I jumped up, and I jumped on him, and I was able to get both his hands behind him, and I put him on a wrist lock, and I locked up his legs so he couldn't move, and so he was totally taken care of. He couldn't move, he couldn't roll. He was trying to swearing, kicking, and everything, and just trying to get it away. And by then, more guards came in, and we were able to take him away. And after I did that to this huge man, everybody was looking around and they're asking, how did you do that? And I just said, I didn't do anything. He just went phew over me. And so I was kind of leery about, what I really did. Was I practicing something I knew somewhere else? Don't know. But for some reason, I was protected in that one instance by something. The second incident occurred. It was slightly different from this. And this one occurred while I was teaching at Campbell High School in room D108, one of my favorite haunted classes. Anyway, the way I set up my class in D108 is I had my desk up against the east wall of the room, and the chairs I arranged it in a semicircle, and so it was like a half moon, a crescent that was facing me, and there was a big white space in front of my desk because I had a lot of my students present their work, so I wanted this open space so that they could present their work. And so one of my students that I had in this class in this time period was a very, very troubled young man. Um, came from a um, came from a home environment that wasn't conducive to, you know, good behavior. So he was angry all the time and causing trouble with other kids and trying to trying to aggravate me and my co-teacher. So one day we were sitting in class, and he started acting up right when he came in, picking on the people around him and just being obnoxious. And so I kept on warning him, and telling me, "Hey, cool it." And he got angry at me, and finally I snapped at him, and he didn't like me snapping at him, so he stood up and he came running. He came not running, but kind of like walking at a really quick pace towards my desk and right in the half moon area. And when I saw him stand up, I stood up and I put my hands on my desk. And inside of me, I says, "No way, no way." And I felt this surge of energy within me going outwards. And out of the blue, a chair to my right that was part of this semicircle, a chair from the right where I had no one sitting there, came sliding across the room and nailed this kid right when he was walking towards me, and it stopped him from reaching my desk. So we didn't have that confrontation, but it nailed him, and to the point where he was surprised, and he looked at the desk. He said, "Mister, why you slide the chair at me?" And when he said that, all of the kids started looking around. "How can Mister slide the chair from over there? He's standing in front of the class, and the chair came from the side, all by itself." So it was really hard to explain. And he was talking about pressing charges for assault and everything. And all the kids and my co-teacher is looking at him and says, "Are you crazy? Mr. Wallace didn't even touch the chair." Maybe I did. Okay. So, but this one instance really showed me that it took me back to the first incident where this energy took over and redirected um, this angry man away from me, pushed him away from me. And this time, a chair came sliding across to stop this aggressive behavior directed at me. Now, after experiencing this, I felt like even closer to my guardian spirits, my amako, who's always watching my back, my guardians, who's always around me. And I'm very thankful for them for preserving me and taking care of me. So take a look at things, strange things that may happen in your life. And, you know, this is your guardian spirits working overtime to protect and watch your back. Anyway, uh, have a good one and hope you folks enjoy these stories. And if you enjoy them, please share and subscribe. Okay? Until next time, aloha.